This is me. And I'm really good at crystal PvP. Maybe not so much. But that's why I decided to hire a Minecraft coach to help me get better. Meet Camcal. Peaking at high tier 1, Camcal is one of the best crystal PvP players, retaining tier 1 for almost a year and playing against multiple top tier players. In this video, he'll be training me, in which he'll be helping me improve my anchoring, my mechanics, my chaining, and my pearl flashing. Before I start the video, I want to give a huge thanks to Camcal. I really enjoyed making this video, and I hope you'll like it as well. But, without any further ado, enjoy the video. Hello?
Yo, what's up?
Yo.
Okay, so I just got on here, RTP. Alright, I sent you a TPA here.
Got it.
Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna do a few practice fights, just so I can kind of see what your skill level is at right now. So, just try your best.
Sounds great.
And I guess we can start in whole fights, and then we can move on to flat later.
Okay.
Alright, let's go.
I must have gotten unlucky that round. Surely I'll win the next one. Right?
And stuff like that. That's you. I think you need to try to improve on like when you should anchor. And I'll actually tell you when. So every time there's distance between you and your opponent in a whole fight. So I would say this by distance I mean like 3 or more blocks of distance. Every time there's this distance, always go for some sort of anchor, whether it be a safe anchor, I don't know, an anchor like that, just without anything protecting you. Just try to anchor them. Sometimes in our fights, I kind of saw you either throw towards me or like run at me to try to hit crystal. And the reason why this doesn't work is it just takes longer. Obviously, throwing your opponent and hit crystal, it's pretty fast, but it takes a decent bit longer than just safe anchoring. You know?
And let's say they end up popping from the anchor. Should I anchor again or go for the hit crystal?
Oh yeah, so that's actually a pretty good question. It honestly kind of depends on what you want to do. Usually I think, in my opinion, if they do pop from the anchor, that's when you want to pearl on them and go for a hit crystal, because you'll have time to do it. They're going to be in their inventory, most likely, trying to retotem, and while they're in their inventory, you'll have a chance to get a hit crystal off and get even more pops. And so yeah, I would probably just hit crystal there, but I mean, you could just anchor spam as well, over and over.
Got it. Basically, to summarize what he just said, if I'm not in hitting distance of my opponent, I should always anchor them, rather than trying to use crystals.
I mean, I don't think there's anything else in specific that's like a huge weakness that I'm seeing. I think it's just a matter of like mechanics now. But I will show you 2 kind of new techniques. So the 2 techniques I'm going to show you are 2 special ways of anchoring, and they allow you to become like much faster in holes. The first special anchor, it's called a below anchor, and it's basically whenever you're on a ledge and your opponent's below you, you can place an anchor below you near them. Yeah, like that, to deal a lot of damage. And the reason why it works is because the block under you is actually like partly, it's kind of like protecting you from the anchor damage. Like this, it's kind of like a safe anchor. But also, you know, it allows you, when you don't have like the hole advantage and the ledge advantage, it allows you to gain back that advantage by using, you know, an anchor blow, do a lot of damage to your opponent, and gives you a chance to like pearl in.
Yeah, but like it's hard when you're getting like constant crystals.
Yeah, that's why you kind of gotta do it like, you gotta just get faster with it. Like, I mean, there's like situations where it's like, you're gonna need to block up rather than like trying to go for like a below anchor. Like in this case, like if my opponent already has a crystal down, I should probably block up here. Like, there's not really a chance I'm gonna get that legend or the below anchor down. But like if they're kind of far away, and you know that you can place the below anchor before they're able to get to you, then just do that. And obviously placing your anchor is like pretty fast. So Yeah, I mean, it's all really a matter of speed, but it works pretty well. Like, if you watch, like, if you ever watch, like, higher leveled gameplay, they're probably going to use it, and you'll see it, and you'll watch it work. But, yeah, I mean, it's really useful. It seems like it's not good because ledge crystalling and stuff like that, but you kind of just got to be fast with it. And also, another thing, you can also use it for predicting. Like, sometimes, here, let me make some space over here. So sometimes there's gonna be situations, especially when you become more faster, where you and your opponent are both on a ledge. So if my opponent's this glowstone, for example, and we're both on a ledge, I can actually use below anchors to predict their movements. So usually what people do is they try to get to the bottom of the hole as soon as possible. So whether that be purling, running, they're always gonna try to get to the bottom of the hole. So what I can do here is I can place a below anchor as where I think they're gonna go. Pearl, run to, whatever. So in this case, I'd probably place it like right here, because it's right in front of them, and you know, they're probably gonna just pearl and run. They're not gonna pearl to the other side of the hole, because it's gonna take longer. But right here seems like a good spot. And then after you below anchor, you can pop it, pearl down, and then you'll probably be able to hit them with the anchor, and then there, it really depends on what you want to do after that. Okay, so the next special anchor I'm gonna show you, it's a lot more useful in my opinion than the side anchor, just because it makes you like extremely fast in holes, and it's called a side anchor. I meant it's much more useful than the below anchor. So basically the side anchor, what it is, it's kind of an alternative to safe anchoring, and what you do is you hold S and then anchor on your opponent's side. So for example, like this is a side anchor. Hold us, anchor on their side, or just close to them. Not really on their side exactly, but really anywhere nearby them works.
Okay.
And the reason why it works is because it's faster than a safe anchor. Like, since you're holding S, you're gonna be far away from the anchor, so it won't do much damage. And you'll also be able to just do a quick anchor on your opponent. It's also really good because you can do combos with it as well. So, what I mean by this is, here, let me man, how's there another mine shaft? Okay. So, this is probably good. So, there's two combos you can do with a side anchor. And one combo is, I call a double anchor. And here, come up here, I'll show you it. Basically, a double anchor is a mix of a side anchor and a below anchor. Just stand right here. And to do it, you just side anchor and then place an anchor below. Side anchor, below. Like that.
Cool.
And it's really useful. You can get double pops like that if you time it really well, which you usually probably will. But it takes a little bit of practice to get like used to the terrain and stuff like that before you should place your anchor.
Interesting.
The other combo you can do, which is one I kind of do more often, it's a side anchor and then a pearl head crystal. So it's like this. That one's really good because, as you can see, you like triple pop there, which I think that is probably the reason you died. It's really fast, and also another good reason why that one's good is because after I hit crystalled you, oh my gosh, there's a block there. You got put on a ledge because of the crystal knockback. So since you're on a ledge, I could start a chain here as well. And but yeah, I mean those are two special ways of anchoring. Next thing I'm gonna show you is how to chain efficiently. So when you're chaining, to make it more consistent, what a lot of good players like to do is they use a chain cycle, which, you know, obviously a cycle is just a series of like repeated actions over and over. And the cycle that you should try to be doing is it starts with a ledge crystal, and then it goes into an anchor, and then a pearl head crystal. So I'll show you it because that's kind of confusing. You stand right here. Okay, so the cycle starts with a ledge, like I said, and usually you're gonna be ledge crystalling them much faster than this. I'm just showing you slow, just so you know. But your opponent's gonna eventually get knocked back really far, so your crystals aren't gonna do much damage anymore. So this is where you want to anchor as close as you can to them. So it's probably as close as I can anchor. And then right after you anchor, you want to go pop it and then pearl on them and go for a head crystal. So usually this terrain doesn't happen where like a random crater is made, but if it does, you kind of got to improvise. But usually it doesn't happen. So here, I'm gonna restart the cycle. Come back here.
Okay.
Yeah, that was kind of confusing, but yeah, you start with the ledge again. After you ledge some decent bit, that's when you want to anchor, and then after you anchor, you go for a pearl, head crystal. And then when you hit crystal them, they're gonna be back on the ledge. And that's where you just repeat the cycle. You start off with a ledge again, then an anchor, then a pearl, a crystal, and then it just repeats over and over. So do you kind of get it? Or...
Yeah.
Okay, so you can try that on me. I'll stand right here. Yeah, and sometimes the terrain is like there's like a random cave here.
Yeah.
I just sometimes it's unlucky. Here you can go.
Ooh, here's another question. When I pop myself, should I continue like crystalling you, or should I like focus on myself first?
Oh yeah, so what you want to do when you pop yourself is you actually should, most of the time, you should actually try to keep continuing the chain, but while you're doing the chain, like literally in the middle of it, you want to go to your double hand totem and then offhand it. So double hand and then offhand key it. So you know what I mean? So let's say I pop while I'm chaining you. What I do is I would keep chaining you, and then in the middle of the chain, I would go to my double hand key and then press my offhand key, and then I can just continue it, because then I'll have another totem in my offhand. I just want to have a double hand, but your opponent's not gonna fight back while they're in the chain. They're gonna try to get out.
Yeah.
So you won't get double tapped or anything. So that's what I would do. It takes a little bit of practice to get used to that, though.
Okay. With that concluding the hold section, we moved on to flat.
Okay, so for flat, what we're gonna do is we're just gonna do same thing for hold. We're just gonna do some fights, and then after I'll give you suggestions, what your weaknesses are, stuff like that. All right, let's go.
Okay.
But yeah, make sure to not anchor.
Oh.
Oh yeah, it's like natural. I do it too. I like whenever I'm doing a fluff, I sometimes
Exactly.
anchor on accident.
Hold on a sec. This feels like deja vu. Oh, fuck.
So you know what pearl flashing is, right?
I do not know.
Oh, okay. So you're actually kind of doing it a decent bit, where basically pearl flashing is just throwing pearls down for the hit tick.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, that's basically what it is. But there's two main ways to pearl flash. So the first way, and probably the way you most see often, is just by pearling at your opponent and going for the hit crystal as soon as possible. But there's you want to make sure to do this way of pearl flashing every time there's distance between you and your opponent. So, and by distance, I mean 3 or more blocks. I think I showed you that earlier. But 3 or more blocks of distance, that's where you want to go for a pearl at your opponent and go for a hit crystal. But if you're really close up, what you want to do is do this thing called pearl flicking, and it's basically just another way of the pearl flash. What pearl flicking is, it's just flicking at the ground pearling. So you flick pearl.
Oh. Okay.
So there's 2 situations where you do this. I just said this, but you want to use pearl flicking when you're close up, like that. But you can also do it after your opponent pearls on you. So here, pearl on me. Oh wait, you try pearling on me again.
Oh. Okay.
So yeah, basically, if you can pearl flick back at your opponent. So when they land, if you throw down a pearl, they won't be able to hit you because of their hit tick. And then by the time they look back up, your hit tick's gonna be gone, so they'll be able to just crystal you.
Yeah. I feel like I've done this a couple of times, and sometimes when I do it, like, I end up just getting double tapped. Even though, like...
Oh yeah. So when that happens, usually it just means you did it a bit too late. Because what happened probably was they hit you, and then you threw the pearl, so you're already midair, and then the pearl probably landed on the crystal or something, because of the hitbox. and that's how you get double tap. That's probably what happened. So you gotta try to. It kind of
Got it.
requires a quick reaction time. So yeah, you gotta do it early most of the time.
Got it.
But the reason why you do pro flick, like you fully flick at the ground, is because of face placing. Do you know what face placing is?
No.
So face placing, basically, it's like a flat technique to kind of counter pro flashing. Here, come down here, I'll show you it. So, to face place your opponent, all it is just spamming crystals in your opponent's face. Like this. That's basically all it is. And the reason why it works is because, like, let's say my opponent's spamming crystals in my face. What this does is it actually catches my pro. So if I try to pro, it will catch it. Which, if they're spamming crystals, that's gonna be pretty deadly usually, because I'll be midair and then they'll be spamming crystals. So I'm gonna go flying a decent bit. But pro flicking actually counters face facing, because when you pro flick, your pro can, like, it just can't hit the hitbox. Like, you can try all you want, it will never hit the hitbox. Just because you're proing directly at the ground. That's why it's really useful.
With the training having ended, I decided to practice all the things I was taught until I felt confident with my skills. With that, I decided to join the queue to get tier tested. So for now, cue the dramatic music. Well, crap. That was a horrible start, meaning I need a win in this next round to boost my morale. Oh my god, that was... Lytra? With that second loss, I knew that if I died again, I wouldn't be able to get a better tier. Feeling demotivated, I started to wonder if all that training had been for nothing. Until this happened. I killed him! Oh my god! With that win, my confidence shot straight back up. I knew that if I wanted to beat this guy, this was my shot. Oh my god! This was it. The score was tied, 2-2. If I wanted to beat my tester, this would be the final round to do so. I may have lost this fight, but I once heard a great quote from a very intelligent and handsome guy that went along like this. Winning isn't only about the result, but also from the lessons learned along the way. Also, I got Hector 4. Let's go, baby!